All right. Hello and welcome as we welcome our Gravity Sketch Challenge winners. We're very excited to have you guys here today. We've been running a Ford and Gravity Sketch Design Challenge over the last few months, and this is our moment where we can come and celebrate, get into the designs, hear from the winners themselves. So with that, I'd like to actually welcome Pepe, Seamus, Arthur. How are we all doing?
Great. Thank you, Dan.
Doing
Um,
awesome.
if you guys don't mind, I'd love a little introduction to you guys. What are you doing at the moment? What's your aspirations? Pepe, do you want to kick us off?
Yeah, of course. Well, I'm Pepe Padilla. I'm from Mexico. I'm an industrial designer from Mexico City. I lead a studio called Polymatica, and I love to collaborate with many kind of multidisciplinary designers. And I am really happy to be here to make a totally different exposition or presentation of a project in a collab room. That's will be my first. Hope not to be the last. So really excited about this.
Fantastic. And how about yourself, Seamus?
I'm a transportation design student from the University of Cincinnati. I'm on my 5th year there, where we do internships now, and that's where I'm actually at in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, doing my 5th internship. So I'm excited as well to explore a new type of meeting and collaboration in Gravity Sketch.
Fantastic. And Arthur?
I'm currently a student in engineering, mechanical engineering, and ergonomics. And I have recently graduated from a 1-year transportation design degree. And that's also my first time in a collab room and in a live. So very happy to be here and impatient.
Fantastic. Well, today's agenda is over the next hour. We're going to be walking through each of your designs and allowing a little bit of Q&A as well. So I want to encourage the audience to tune in and engage, ask your questions, and we'll relay them to these guys. They'll walk through all of their design concepts from start to finish, sharing their workflows and how they approached it and why they did certain things. So with that in mind, we're going to be in VR, and we're going to transition in just a moment into VR. And with that, Pepe, if you don't mind, you can lead the call here and get yourself warmed up and ready to go because you'll kick us off.
Yeah,
But
of course.
whilst we're waiting on that, I would love to actually understand, Seamus, like why did you engage in the challenge? Like how was it for you as well? Oh, sorry, you're on mute at the moment.
Thank you. Through my studies at the University of Cincinnati, we have been encouraged to use Gravity Sketch through our transportation design 3-year kind of extra part of the program from our teachers, and we have a lab dedicated to virtual reality. So applying that, and it's something as well as I've worked with Gravity Sketch in all of my internships, and applying it to not just transportation design scenarios, but also product design scenarios. Why I also participated in a class with one of your employees, Hunter Elmore, where he actually taught me a lot of unique tools that I was able to apply to this program here. I also wanted to be a transportation designer for a long time, so this was a great fit for me.
Amazing. And you guys, as winners of the competition,
You're on mute.
Oh, sorry. My turn. And you guys, as winners of the competition, got the opportunity to speak with the Ford team and have your submissions and portfolios reviewed. Arthur, how was that?
Honestly, that was awesome. Especially, I don't know for the others, but for me it was very unique, and because I'm not currently in a very transportation design degree, so have that kind of chance was Just I didn't thought it was possible now. And many advices, feedbacks. So it was so cool.
Amazing. Well, without further ado, then let's get stuck in. Let's get into the VR room. I'll release you guys. You guys can exit the call, and I'll transition over to the VR room where I'll be sharing the Screen Collab app, and the audience will be able to tune in that way. So see you guys over there.
See you.
How are we? Can we hear everybody?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Fantastic. So, Pepe, you are going to be first to take us through your design. So I'll hand over to you. You take the reins, and yeah, looking forward to getting into it.
Yeah, of course. Thank you, Dan. Well, I am here in the room, and also my teammate Arthur Millan, that collaborate with me in this project, and also Luis, that is not here in the collaborate, but we are going to explain a little bit of the ideation stage in this viewport that we prepared. We develop all this information at a Figma board to place our brainstorming sessions to explore the basic concepts, like starting from emergencies, what is going to emergencies through worldwide, like where does a common point for every single city, and that the concept has the most powerful and unique sense of attention to the emergency question. We also study interesting concepts for this kind of packagings of design that are already in the media and the social media and the websites, that we can escape from creativity from others. So we have to take place and take good inspirations of what is going on online, and also give a little bit of sense of the idea that we achieve, like a remote controlled vehicle. Obviously, as a designer and not an engineer, we have to just ask for technologies. That sounds really easy, but we think that it's doable and possible to integrate, like GPS technologies with AI, with virtual control remote motors. We try to explore the most advanced technologies that are already existent, and place it into images and explore the possibilities of these concepts, and also try to understand what were the key points of the concept, and we managed to get that to the ESCORT acronym, that it's emergency, safety, control, operational response, and tactics. That makes sense for the model of for the system, because we try to think more than just a vehicle. We try to think higher to the system where this concept wants to live in, and probably to make sense for the actual infrastructure of every single city that is on electric infrastructure, chargings, and also video vigilance of cameras in the city, all that kind of stuff. So this is the ideation boards. There's more information, but this is one of the most important.
So I'll follow you now, Pep, as you take us through.
Yeah, then we can go to this part of the model of the presentation that take place on sketches, ideas. The first ideas that we tried these sketches are from Arturo Millán, and we try to explore the functions, the aesthetics, the functionality. We try to explore so aggressive features of this vehicle. Really hard to beat. You know, we talk about this in the session with the Ford team, that we try to feel indestructible. That was one of the words that they said, that looks indestructible, and that was kind of the goal of the design features. And but also in the first place, we try to model on a 3D measurements what kind of components we would have. You know, this stage was just to understand the volumes, understand the mechanics, understand what was going on inside, and try to explore at the starting point of the packaging. So that was this exploration. Then in this part, the dimensions of it, we also sketch a one-on-one model in our wall, so to understand this measure, and also with gravity, playing with this dimension, and to make sure that we were designing on the correct proportions, and also not leaving the sketching part. You know, it's like for us, gravity sketch and 3D modeling, and also other traditional process are really necessary. Sketching is basic, and it's for communicating. You know, like we polish the design. We started to think in some kind of components, but then we make a more clean design. We based into Broncos and Raptor and F-150 features that we thought that were the for Ford, they were the most important design language that we can feel to feel indestructible. So we try to explore that kind of senses of the surfaces and the language into the most important parts of the design. So there's here a mood board that we start to assemble, you know, for the Raptor concepts, like F-150 and Bronco Raptor. So Raptor was the most important line of inspiration for the design language for ESCORT. And this viewport try to explain the main mechanisms and the main volumes that have to consider for the assistance into the E1 and the E2, as we manage these two models of design that for firefighting and for transit and medical emergencies into the one. So that was the core concept of ESCORT, is to assist the already existence infrastructure of emergencies. So it's a plus to have an ESCORT into the infrastructure of every single city. You know, it's like for first arrival, that's the most important concept for ESCORT. The first arrival, that it's a matter of time and life to assist on a fire, to extinguish a starting fire, or to attend a a medical situation, or also the interception concept that it's sketched here, like the mechanism that we designed to make sense to functionality. Obviously, to develop that kind of stuff is maybe years of proofs and iteration, but well, it's concept. So last part we have here in the here, and to understand how to get to the module of ESCORT to open the door. You know, like the most easy way, or the correct volumes, the correct proportions to understand how human interact with this as a non-tripulated design. We have to study the ergonomics for use the model once it's placed in the emergency situation. So that was the main goal for us, to study the ergonomics and the human factor, the human factor here. So then we can go to the showroom, the showcase that we prepare for you. That is this one. No? So for us was a really great experience to develop this concept. It was so fun to sketch, to make this concept in Gravity Sketch. Arthur Millan, that is one of our teammates, was just the main principal designing in Gravity to develop this kind of concept, to really communicate for us to make the next step into the modeling in other kind of softwares. But in our process, in our workflow, Gravity Sketch is such an outstanding tool for communicating ideas, and for designers is to speak the same language for intuitive movements, to make volumes, to make surfaces, to make annotations. For us, that was great, you know. Like probably we are not. In my case, I am not so skilled to make in Gravity Sketch a good model, but the basic skills to make a communication for our workflow, and that's the most important thing for us. So this showroom tried to explain a little bit more of the concept, what was the key points of the idea, the main features, what kind of technology we were thinking about, and the system, the three main emergency situations that we were trying to attend. ESCORT thought like a global ecosystem of vehicles and technologies that have to be in harmony, and that had to be in control. No? So yes, artificial intelligence is the main discussion in these days, but we have to understand how humans have to take the decisions and the experience to manage and to take place with the vehicles, with the infrastructure, and with the correct professionals behind them. So this is ESCORT, and we prepared here a video, and really short animation that we create for you.
So I've started playing the video already, Pepe. I hope that's okay as you were chatting there. But I had a couple of questions. Okay. Is that right? I mean, it's quite clear from the video that the amount of refinement that you've done on this concept is brilliant. It's incredible. And you also mentioned that you worked on this with a team. I wanted to ask about collaboration and how you find Gravity Sketch as a collaborative tool and how that helped you, or even some challenges that you faced along the way.
Yeah, of course. So also here is Arthur Millan, that if you can take this question with me, my friend, because my first collab room was with him, and he was more experienced than me using collab room, and I was really surprised about this kind of feeling of being with other human being in the same place virtually. So, Arthur, are you with me? You can talk.
Hello.
Hi, Arthur.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Thank you.
So Dan was talking about the experience of collab rooms. How you can explain it?
Yeah, it's a very good tool, but we are inexperienced in this language, but we are new using these tools, awesome tools, but I need to say it's awesome. But in the first time it was a very hard, but we understand best the tool. But I need to say I love this Gravity Sketch.
Yeah, cool. And we also have, of course.
I have to say then that the audio, for me, it's surprising. Like a normal video conference, like Google Meet or any other tool, it's audio. It's always a problem. And I have to say that visually, obviously, here is the main feature, but audio, it's great.
Yeah, I mean, like ultimately, what we're trying to do with design is communicate, right? Communicate ideas, and sometimes that's done effectively visually, but also audio is an important part of that. I'd like to also just open. Yeah, sorry, I interrupted. Go on.
Yeah, no, it's okay. Sorry. In a few years ago, the design studios was starting about these tools, but now it's a reality. And the designers all, I need to say, comfortable about this process, about the design, about the tool, and collaborating with both. I love it. This.
Amazing. I'd love to, just in case, before we move on to Seamus's concept, just in case Seamus or Arthur, you perhaps have any questions for the guys.
Yeah. One of the things you talked about, Pepe, in the design review with Ford was how emergency services in Mexico can have a hard time. How did that influence your decision making throughout the process? A hard time getting through traffic and stuff like that.
You catch that, Pepe?
Yeah, sorry, I was in mute. Yeah, that's a great question. And I think that concept without context is lost. So we have to, as a designers, we have a mission like understand our context in such a way that we can translate opportunities, we can translate frustrations into solutions, into part designs. So living in a big city, even in a traffic jam city, it's the main frustration for us to get obsessed with opportunities that could take place into this kind of solutions. No, I think that it's one of the most important things about being a designer and about being passionate about design is that. So a problem becomes a solution through design and innovation.
Very cool. Well, I just want to echo Pepe and Arthur. It really is tremendous work. It's no doubt that the Ford team picked up on this and highlighted this as one of our winners. So huge congrats again. And amazing to actually walk through your workflow and hear from you about your perspective as to why you did certain things on this. So really great work. Thanks so much for being a part of things. I'd like to transition, if it's all right, guys, onto Seamus to talk through his concept, which is another great entry. So excited to get into that one. So on viewports here, I'm just going to move on to the Sheamus's concept and the research phase. Thanks again, Pepe and Arthur.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, great job, guys. So I'll get started on my decision making. I started off with working a phone call with a friend who is a EMT basic down in Houston, Texas. He started laying out how they were having a lot of trouble getting through intersections and how dangerous that can be for them. So that kind of led me to take a look at what the response times were in cities and areas and how and what is causing that. And a lot of it is traffic. In my second interview, I went on scene here to a fire station in Milwaukee where I walked through an ambulance and talked with a paramedic, and he was able to give me a really good understanding of tools they use and what their situation's like. For example, like some people thought, like I thought when coming into this, there's some kind of button or something that will turn traffic lights for emergency services to get through. That doesn't exist. So finding a way where they don't have to stop at every single intersection for their safety is important. So that my problem was the response time. For an example, in New York City, almost 13 minutes for life-threatening. My solution was a small agile vehicle that clears a path for the ambulance and arrives on scene first to address the patient's immediate needs. So if you switch to the ideation viewport, you can see that this became apparent that this vehicle package had to be narrow, compact, and I decided to go for something that would fit two people, two paramedics. And after my discussion with the paramedic here in Milwaukee, he said that is the adequate number for them to get on scene and be able to address the patient's needs. I also took a look at their gear and what they grab with them, so backpacks, cases, and kind of figured out what those weights were and where they started thinking about where they can go on the vehicle. I took a good look at Ford's design mood and feeling, so stuff like more rounded wheel wells, which is something that was not incorporated in this initial concept. Things like their design language that needed to be incorporated into the product in order to make it a Ford vehicle. That also became apparent in like the front end, for example, kind of matching the bold lettering as you can see on the Broncos and Raptors, etc. I also wanted to think of a way, if this vehicle is going ahead and stopping the intersection, how can it do that without slowing down or letting the ambulance slow down? So I thought of a solution that would drop this cone dispenser, and cones would shoot out of the dispenser and rise in the intersection, stopping traffic. With this vehicle being ahead of the ambulance, it allows for the ambulance to breeze through the intersection safely and without losing any time. Something else I took a look at was with intersections, as I mentioned, there's a lot of dangers going through them when the light isn't in your favor. So I looked at haptic feedback in the driver's seat to indicate if there was traffic coming from a direction that the driver did not understand or see initially. In my refinement viewport, you can see where I kind of took all of this and started meshing it into you see like a line sketch here, refined line. And I took a lot of my sketches and worked in between Viscom and my sketches to find a balance, something that fit the Ford design language, something that felt like it was moving forward fast, creating movement. That's kind of a design language I was going for, like a punchy feel, punchy electric drivetrain to get through these scenarios. So the package seats 2 paramedics and a very narrow package, not as narrow as Pepe's, but still seats 2 people comfortably. Another thing to note is the easy access to essential medical gear, which is right on the back of the vehicle in 2 cases where you just pick it up immediately and go to the scene. You can see my development in Gravity Sketch from that initial rough line sketch to a more refined line based to then build my sub D and interior as well. I also did a little bit of headlight development. This all kind of came together in the execution viewport or stage of the project, where I rendered these in Keyshot and built the wheels in a solid modeling program and kind of built this kind of it came all together. You can see the drone on top there. That is for picking up the cone dispenser after the vehicle and the ambulance have gone through, which this allows the vehicle to not have to stop at every scenario. So if Dan, you want to follow me. Now I'll walk through the vehicle itself. So you can see in the front here, this aggressive with the Ford Pulse, which was generated through AI and kind of working back and forth to find a name that fit Ford and fit the vehicle. The interior, I went for kind of this metal, simplistic, minimal design with the steering wheel right there, ready for the driver and then the passenger behind. Around the back, you can see the 2 cases, which easy to grab for the paramedic, as well as that drone on top there to receive the cone dispenser. And actually, this presentation room is set up so as an example for the ambulance to go through, and for as an example of what this scene would look like. The vehicle drops the dispenser, and the cones are expanded in areas where it is intending to stop traffic, so the ambulance can run through without issue. That's kind of it for me. Any questions?
Yeah, amazing, Seamus. I was particularly caught by how much research that you did in the consumer stage, trying to find that customer profile. I think it's really impressive, to the point where you're actually interviewing your local emergency services. Am I right?
Correct.
Amazing. So how did that actually? Can you talk to how that, how those particular insights really like drove your design process? Did you go back to them?
Absolutely.
Have you shown them the design?
Yes, I actually went back to the paramedic that I had a one-on-one with, and I had him went to a coffee shop and had him put the headset on, which for most people, it was a cool experience just to be in virtual reality. So that was a lot of the feedback was, wow, this is really cool. But he said, yes, the design made a whole bunch of sense, and this is something that they definitely needed in their ambulance bays to move forward with the progress. But so you asked why or how my research guided me through. I'd say between the package and so being something speedy and narrow, as well as the system and the like easy access for medical supplies, which I dug into or took a look at and took pictures of what they bring. So a drug box which has like 20 or 70 different medications which he knows how to apply, which was quite surprising, and it was impressive on how much they knew and when to apply it. So an example, this could get on scene by itself, possibly something he talked about, or something where the solution that I set up where it's guiding an ambulance, or maybe there's multiple of these guiding the scenario through.
Pepe, Arthur, what do you think?
Honestly, I think the... Excuse me, Pepe.
Go, Arthur.
Okay. The first thing I thought when I seen your project, Seamus, was the way you present it. It's very inspiring. I don't know if it's something you learned in your school or it's just in your mind, but I really appreciate it. And I have a question for you and also for Pepe. I really like the way you design like this step, the way you design the concept in Gravit Sketch using the sketch tools, and I'm a bit struggling with it of like having good lines and be as emotional and in that hand drawing or Photoshop drawing. So how did you obtain that kind of results?
The line drawing, I would say, or the refined line drawing, I would say a lot of meticulous editing. So my workflow is to lay a baseline out and then go through and edit and move the line or lines plural to be where I want them to be. I'd say that's where I spend most of my time in this stage. Yeah.
Okay. And why did you choose to go into this step and not directly into the modeling step? Because you have already very nice sketches on end, and I don't know, maybe it helps you to do the modeling part. I don't know.
Yes. So I felt like it was important to see this in 1-to-1 scale and make sure that everything was proportional first before spending a little bit more time surfacing. So I'd say it's better to use a tool like this, like the sketch tools, to get an idea of the space that the vehicle is taking up and making sure that the proportions match that of a successful vehicle. So for example, I actually had a low poly Kia Soul that I used as reference for the space that the vehicle would take up, and then drew on top of that with a dramatically different design, but use that tool and that space. I'd say that's definitely the most important thing about this, is to see what space is being taken up and ensuring the proportions are correct before you spend the time to get a fun and nice surface model.
Okay, thank you. I will keep it in mind. I'm not working like this, but it's inspiring.
Yeah, I would like to complement this idea. I think this is the heart of gravity sketch. It's like that, like sketching on gravity. It's like literally here it is. So for I think that maybe Arthur Millán, you can tell us that you are already skilled in sketching, but when you arrive into gravity sketch for sketching like this, it's like another dimension, right?
Yeah.
It's really cool, guys, to see this cross-pollination of ideas and approaches and how different people are doing things differently and what we can learn from that. Really interesting. I think it's probably a good time to move over to Arthur, if that's all right. So Arthur, you can jump over. I'll just go to your first viewport until you're there, and then you can begin chatting us through.
Hi, man. Are you here? Yeah. So it's the same brief than everyone, not everyone. And I have done quite a similar process than Seamus at the beginning, like asking to a first aider to to understand the need and what they were expecting in their common use. And together we agreed that the biggest opportunity was in the mountain environment, and more especially by creating like a grounded vehicle to support the helicopter team by doing non-vital emergencies and let the helicopter team focus on the vital emergencies in hard mountain. And so after that, I've decided to make as many as possible iteration to find the most the most efficient, the most interesting architecture. Also integrating a bit of ergonomics to be sure it was realistic. It's a bit the same thinking that you said, Seamus, by checking if the scale, the proportion are good. Personally, I do it like this. And after that, I started, so I've chosen this concept. And after that, I've started a more refined phase in ergonomic and mechanical. So here you have all the ergonomic design and a bit of mechanics here for an engineer. Of course, if there is engineer in the live, it's not very mechanics, but it's understand the proportion, understand all the requirements of the structure of that kind of things, of the main mechanical components, and so on. And that's also in that phase where I love the most Gravity Sketch, because it's so easy to play with mannequins, both 5th percentile and 95 percentile. The blue one is a 95, and the pink one is a 5 percentile in stator. And it's very intuitive to use it, and that's why I've chosen Gravity Sketch to do it. So here is the final architecture, and with it I've started the design phase. That's here. And for the design phase, as you can see on the first concept, I had my initial architecture in it, and I've done very quick doodles to find the idea where I wanted to go. After, of course, looking at the Ford identity and also the emergency services identity. And after having this, I've annotated all the idea to choose the interesting one, but not choosing the final concept by doing a very consuming Photoshop rendering. And I've uploaded in Gravity Sketch and use my sketches as an inspiration to directly model. And so refined the design step by step, doing again as much iteration as possible. And so you can see all the phase. And if we go to the next viewport, we'll see, it's a bit lagging for me. You will see that this step number 2, and between the step number 2 and the step number 3, there is a big change of proportion. I mean, the body the body part is very bigger in the third step, and that's something sometimes very hard to do, especially in a parametric software, and it's so easy in Gravity Sketch. And also you can make that choice very more easily than in any other software because you are just close to the vehicle. You can see on the 1:1 scale, and it's very more, very more easy to make the choices and also consider the architecture all the time you are doing the design phase. And for me, that like I guess as everyone, but concerned about ergonomic, about style, design, and also the feasibility and the manufacturability of a vehicle. Gravity Sketch is just excellent for a first ideation and show a concept very quickly and refine an idea very quickly too. So you have here the final design with all the modeling and some tricks to make it a bit more refined by using the sketching tool. You can see the black lines it's some tricks very fun to do in Gravity Sketch and easy. And we can go to the, yeah, you already are, Daniel. So the final results. So the renderings are made using Redshift in Cinema 4D and the modeling from Gravity Sketch. And as you can see, I also use Gravity Sketch to make fun scenarios, like more immersive scenarios. And again, it's so easy to change the model than a parametric software, or I don't really know the other sub-D softwares, but that's why I love in Gravity Sketch. You can do almost everything, almost every time. You have an idea, you go into the Gravity Sketch, you do it, and you export it in a software to render it, and that's it. That's so fast. And so here's the final result. With some inspiration, the cross you see is all again is of course from the like the emergency services identity, and you have I've chosen a very simple design. That was also one of my personal challenge, because as I'm very beginner designer, I very generally do too like over designed things, and for this I would like to try to keep it very simple. So here is the result, and you can see the architecture I have chosen at the very beginning is still here. It's still like working because I have checked at the very beginning, and nothing have changed during all the process. So that's the advantage of Gravity Sketch. You can consider all of it at the same time.
Amazing, Arthur. Really cool. I just want to get to a question that's coming from the chat there. You mentioned the rendering was Cinema 4D, am I right? Or was it Twinmotion?
No, it's the software was in Cinema 4D, like I uploaded in Cinema 4D using the Redshift. I don't know how to say in English, but the Redshift software under Cinema 4D.
Ah, cool. How easy was that transition to go from Gravity Sketch to Cinema 4D?
It was very, very easy, like no problem. Just export it. I do not remember FBEX or OBG, I don't remember. And you upload it in Cinema 4D, and it's even editable, so it's perfect. I had a bit of concern with Rhino before, but with Cinema 4D, it's very perfect.
And one other from me before I move on to Seamus and Pepe is I just caught on to something that you said about being able to see things in 1:1 scale and how that changed your approach. I was wondering if I could follow you to some of your ideation sketches. The reason why it's in my mind, because I linked that to actually when I saw you present to the Ford team, and you started. Am I right in saying that you used AI pass-through to get a sense of scale? Is that correct?
Seamus did it.
Seamus did it. Okay. Ah, cool. Well, similar question, I guess. In how important was it to get that 1:1 scale? And if I just follow you, if you could take me to some of your ideation sketches. 1 second, and then I can ask my questions around that. Yeah, if you go to some of your more ideation sketches for me.
Yeah.
Or when in the process, I guess, was it really important to get one-to-one and get that sense of feel?
In fact, for this project, it was almost every time.
Right.
But for the 1-1 scale, I've really tried it for like the interior and the design to have the feeling to like see the proportion like it will be in the streets. You know, sometimes you do some sketches and you upload it in an HDRI, and you see that maybe the vehicle is too long or too high, or just it does not look good except in a studio rendering settings. So that's something I like in Gravit Sketch. And also for all the ergonomic parts in this project, I've done like a very quick ergonomic design. But I'm currently working on other projects in my internship, and Gravit Sketch is very, very powerful to check if you can grab something or if you can access to something. But in this project, I didn't refine the interior, so I didn't use it like this.
Very cool. Seamus, Pepe, what are your thoughts?
First of all, kudos to you. This is a fantastic project, and I really like all the ideation you did around spatial constraints. So looking back, like you explored every different option to get this person in and out, and that came through in the final where you showed how easy it is and how this vehicle opens up for the user to get to pull out the person in injury. One question I had for you was, where did the inspiration for this project come from? Like, was something family, or do you? I think you mentioned that you had a firefighter giving you some advice on this.
I'm not a firefighter,
No.
but one of my friends was, he's actually a first aider, and so by interviewing it, I have founded this idea, and with some research on internet and the very first architecture research, that's how I came into the architecture. At the very beginning, before interviewing my friend first aider, I had an idea quite similar to the Pepe idea, but more like a little robot going to where is the emergency and supplying all the need for the people around it. But my friend told me that it was maybe a bit too difficult in France, so I go into the mountain, because in France, I don't know, but you have very like various environments, and so it was like more interesting for me, I guess.
Well, great job.
Yeah, guys. I guess just before we close out, I just want to say a huge well done and a congrats. Some of the concepts, in fact, all of the concepts that we had submitted for this challenge were unbelievable, really beyond expectation, and to be the pick of the bunch is quite something. So massive congratulations to all three of you, and three and more, because I know Pepe had a team.
Thank you so much for the opportunity. This was a fantastic opportunity, and I look forward to continuing using Gravity Sketch in all of my projects.
And I couldn't leave without getting all of the questions answered, and one's just come in, so let me just get to that real quick. Okay, so it's a feature request. trim functionality anytime soon in Gravity Sketch. Yeah, I'll for sure pass that on. The product team is always watching, always keen and open. What I hope you get from these sort of sessions is that we like to be in rooms with you guys and walk through these designs with you guys, because we're always learning and we're always looking for how you guys are using the tools. So both of the guys in the room, but also the guys in the audience. So I hope you get that sense that we're always open to feature requests. I'll for sure pass that on. So I think that probably wraps us up. Guys, did you enjoy the challenge?
Yeah, it was great. Like nights of work, but it worth it.
Amazing. We've got, I'm going to just give you a little tease here, because I'm working on the next challenge at the moment and I'm very, very excited about it. It's going to be a human-centered design approach. I don't want to give it away too much, but we're going to partner up with another technology software whom I think is a really cool and perhaps unorthodox match to Gravity Sketch, but it's going to drive a whole thought train into how can we be more user-centric and take us on a human design approach. So there's going to be pro licenses for both softwares available for that to incentivize you guys, but stay tuned, because that's going to come in middle of January, and I'm very, very excited about it. I wish I could tell you who we're working with on that, but yeah, guys, thanks so much for sharing your work today. Thanks so much for such an amazing entry, and to the audience, guys tuning in, and the audience that will tune in after this event, really appreciate you joining. Keep the feedback coming in, and yeah, onwards with developing Gravity Sketch and creating a better product for design. Thank you again, guys.
Thank you. Thank all the Gravity Sketch team that support us in every single step, and also the 4 team that was able to be with us in all the process. Thank you. Thanks so much.
Okay, guys.
Yeah.
Bye.